Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live at 360 Vegas Studios with another edition of Trooper Talk. We have Trooper Wellman here, and is it now Acting Lieutenant Campbell, not Sergeant Campbell anymore, right?
Yeah, we can call myself that.
Okay. Or is that maybe I shouldn't? Maybe am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. All right. So we always talk about you because we always show your funny things on the TV.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's great. I love having you here. We had you here with the motorcycle, and you know what I mean, and all that stuff. And so, we are very fond of what you do to ensure traffic safety is done across the valley. Now, Johnny and I had the pleasure of going out when you did the Green Leprechaun, and we saw these lunatics drive by like with this green leprechaun in the middle of the road, and it didn't make a difference. And so one of the things that you're very passionate about is the school zone safety. And we talked about that, and so what I would like you to do is start off right here, just talk to us about school zone safety and why it is that you're so passionate about that.
Right. I don't think we're doing anything different than any other agency around the valley. Our focus is just on the schools. The biggest thing is that we're back to school this week. We got an excess of 300,000 students coming into our school zones. Tens of thousands of different vehicles coming in, 1,000 buses, etc. So we just have a lot of extra traffic, a lot of extra foot traffic around our schools, and we're just trying to do anything we can to get our parents and the rest of the motorists in the valley to slow down. We ask them to plan their route, go take a look at the school, see what kind of rules that the school has for drop off and pickup, and then just be cognizant that these are children. They don't necessarily know all the laws, and sometimes the common sense thing isn't so common when you're young. You're not thinking about traffic safety. You're thinking about getting to class, or you're thinking about what homework you forgot to do, or just being nervous going to school for the first time or a new school. So just look for those kids and treat every kid in the school zone like it's your own family member.
And Trooper Wellman, we've talked for the last couple months about the new drivers that are now out for the first time for the first summer, who are out enjoying themselves, and maybe you need to slow down as the new driver. But now maybe those new drivers are now going to school for the first time in their whatever it is that their mode of transportation, right? And so all of a sudden now they might be rushing on the freeway, because they're like, oh, I got to, I didn't plan my route right, and there's a school zone now, and so when it comes to the highway safety, we have to be cognizant of that even more so in the mornings, because people are now rushing, and even from a parental standpoint, to drop the kids off and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Usually with age comes experience, especially with driving, and that's why we say our younger drivers don't have as much experience. Usually that's the case. We talk about the 100 deadly days of summer and how they're usually during summer break, because we have an increase of tourism coming to town, people not making smart decisions and driving impaired, as well as our young adults are out of school and they're bored, if you want to say, and maybe they don't make the best choices sometimes. And there's even programs in town called Every 15 Minutes. Every 15 minutes, a life is taken, possibly due to impairment or just reckless driving. And so in Nevada, our top two contributing factors for our fatalities is speed and impairment, and that's why we cannot continue to stress enough the importance of always just slowing down, making sure you leave your residence with enough time to get to your next destination so you're not rushing. And if you are going to get behind the wheel of a motor vehicle, you have to understand that it's not just your life that is now your responsibility. You're putting everyone around you in the motoring public's lives in your hands, because if you choose to speed or drive in a reckless manner, if you decide to look down at that phone, play with your radio, and you're not paying full attention, you're putting everyone at risk, not just your own life. And again, it comes, like, we can't stress enough, again, with the school zones, people are looking down at their phones, crossing the street, not, it's a two-way street, right? You know, pedestrian safety and motoring public safety. But if you're paying full attention, your reaction time, if somebody was to walk across the street and they're not paying full attention, especially if it's a young adult or a child, your reaction time, you actually have it because you're paying full attention. And so that's one of the biggest things that I've seen is majority of crashes are preventable. Unless it's a medical episode, it's preventable. And so what were you doing prior that led to this crash?
Yeah, and I was watching yesterday on one of the news programs in the morning, and they had the difference between the 25 miles an hour and the 15 miles an hour. One was like a school zone, and one was a school area, right? And so I didn't know that. And so I always went through, and you always slowed down, but one was a school crossing, I think it was. Yeah. And so it's like, you're learning something new all the time, and we have to pay attention, because I know specifically on Flamingo Road that there are kids that walk across with two people that hold up those signs that say stop, and there are people that just blow past it. And also, as soon as they, the person walks halfway across the street, they think it's the speedway, and so you don't know that somebody's, coming just quickly across, but, with a stroller or something. And so, the safety all around is very important. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is the fact of, the joining forces, right? Trooper Wellman and I, we always talk about the joining forces. And we show, the motorcycle guys up there with the LiDAR, and, they're catching these people 120 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. It's too much. And so you cannot make a decision in the same amount at 65 or 75 as you can at 100. And so we talk about that, and we also talk, about the tires. People drive so fast in these cars, the tires are rated for 85, but they're doing 100.
Right, yeah. Any area where the speed is drastically reduced and you're going a lot faster than the limit, as the Trooper Wellman said, is that your reaction time is going to be a lot greater. So if you're doing 45 going into a 15-mile-an-hour school zone, you're going to be traveling quite an excess amount of distance, not just to react to the obstacle that has entered the road, but then to actually physically start putting your foot on that brake and stopping that vehicle. So we try to really ask people to slow down, but on the same token, we're asking the pedestrians, the kids and everything, to take a look for those vehicles, look for the driver to make eye contact, because it's not just the drivers and it's not just the pedestrians. Everybody's involved, and we always say all hands on deck here. We got to get everybody involved. It takes the whole city, every driver, every pedestrian, looking out for each other and for themselves.
We have pictures of Lieutenant Zink and Trooper Wellman behind the scenes, right? I think we had you with a baseball hat or something on, right? Remember when when you were at the thing, and so anyway, we appreciate you being here, and we did the same thing to the Lieutenant Colonel of NHP. I always ask him to do to do the interviewing, and he would always push everyone first, because he's just very, he's like, okay, you can interview everyone else. And so he was here, and so he was sitting off to the side, and I said, yeah, why don't you just come in just for a moment and just, say a few words. You know what I'm saying? You're right. May you choose not to drive impaired event. So, Trooper Wellman, tell everybody what we have here.
So last year, in honor of Trooper Micah May, who was killed in the line of duty in 2021, we wanted to honor his memory and make it something that we do annually. And so and what better way than to save lives and join forces with our surrounding agencies. One of the unique things about our agency is we are statewide. And so with this joining forces, we wanted to include our entire state of Nevada, which was just very, very powerful to be a part of. We call it May You Choose Not to Drive Impaired for the event title because it's in honor of fallen trooper Micah May. Last year we had, I believe, 5 agencies, and we got 33 impaired drivers off the road. And this year we had over 13 agencies statewide participate for the one-night event, and we got over 26 impaired drivers off the road. They initiated over 400 traffic stops between these 13 plus agencies, and we look at it as that was 26 lives saved that night in honor of our fallen brother who was killed by an impaired driver. And to also make it even more impactful, his widow, Joanna May, last year rode with one of our captains who actually trained Micah May in the academy, and they got 2 impaired drivers off the roadway. And this year she rode with one of our troopers that worked alongside Trooper Micah May, and they also got 2 impaired drivers off the road this year. And I think it just speaks volume to our community members that not only are we out there, but our fallen's loved one is also out there trying to make a difference in saving lives because she knows exactly what the direct impact of losing a loved one to an impaired driver feels like. And so, one of the vehicles they stopped is actually a rideshare service. And you and I have talked about that and how when you get in a rideshare, you're trusting them with your life and you're doing all your intentions to get home safely and do it responsibly. And so if you ever see a rideshare individual that's a driver and they're driving in a reckless manner, or you feel like maybe they are impaired, please do not hesitate to call 911 or at least notify the company so that they can start looking into this driver, because they are technically a professional driver and keeping people's lives, safe. So for example, for this event, they stopped the vehicle. It was a rideshare service driver, and they had 3 occupants in that vehicle, one being a minor. So the way Joanna May looked at it as that was 3, possibly 4 lives, including the driver, that was saved by stopping that one vehicle. And so, it really comes down to accountability and just thinking twice before getting behind the wheel. Impaired. It's very, very simple. Just plan ahead and utilize these resources that are out there and in place for you. Like, it's okay to go out and have a good time. You just got to do it responsibly, because if you do not, you may think it will never happen to you, but it will have fatal consequences eventually. And this was a prime example of that time that it was fatal consequences.
So you're shaking your head over there, and so then we're going to come to Acting Lieutenant Campbell. And so, explain. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's very heartbreaking to hear that, because we do put a lot of faith in these companies, and many agencies and nonprofits partner with these groups during Super Bowl, New Year's Eve, things like that, because we're entrusting them to get people home safely. And now I think back to all the times that I've been in a rideshare, it's like I would never even thought that a rideshare driver would ever take it upon themselves to drive impaired or distracted. So it's just heartbreaking. But one other thing I would like to add too is that I don't know if there's any other state in the nation that has such a close partnership of all the law enforcement agencies. I mean, we seem like we're a small town, but we're over 2 million people now. We have, I can't even remember how many different law enforcement agencies are in Southern Nevada now, but we all work together, I think, so well. We have, of course, we have our little rivalries and things like that, but it's all out of jest and fun. But I mean, I think we're probably setting the standard for the rest of the nation as to how jurisdictions should work together. We have officers that they'll go down on Fremont Street and work with the Las Vegas City Marshals and Metro. We do joining forces with everybody in the valley, coordinated through him and through Trooper Wellman here. So it's just amazing the partnership that we do have, and it's like our charity events and things like that. We all get together to support our local community. So like I said, if it's like this anywhere else, I'm not aware of it, and I think it would definitely be a great standard for other states and jurisdictions to try to strive for, that we're definite proof that we're all different agencies, but we can definitely work together and help each other out. I think it's fantastic.
You know what's really neat that he brings that up, because I didn't even think about it, was we've had multiple states surrounding us reach out because they've seen the event. And they want to also participate next year, like Utah, California, Arizona. They want to jump in too. And so it's just, it's really, really cool.
Do it in their states to honor Micah May. That's fantastic. Awesome.
I think it's fantastic. And for me, what's really cool is that last year when we saw Joanna and the captain go out, right? The captain had his
Taser.
His
His
taser,
drop-down
right? Like
taser.
you know what I mean? Like normally you think of like a captain, like he's a guy that's like doing stuff at the office, right? No, he had his thing and his spiel. He was ready. He was going out for battle, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you don't know what you're gonna do, and so. The best part for me is seeing this, and we always talk about the fact that when it comes to NHP, you see the leaders, and they're always passing down what they're learning to build a better relationship with all of the troopers. And so always seeing you out and doing things, and then with your rank, you're always out on the motorcycle, stopping people and joining forces. And so it's not a matter of a higher ranking person that they don't care or that they don't feel that, right? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, just as an example here, I had the honor to be participating in the Micah May event here. I also had 2 DUI arrests that night with one of my fellow officers, and I got firsthand to meet Micah's wife and saw her down at the detention center at 4 a.m. where we're all red-eyed because we're tired that we've been up there, and she did the same exact thing. So hats off to her for being out there. She got to see exactly what we're doing out on the road and down at the facility. But yeah, like you said, anytime we can get out there together, we will. Henderson just added a lieutenant to their traffic unit. He's pictured next to Sergeant Matuzek here in the blue. He's right there to the right. A lot of the departments are seeing that traffic safety is a problem. And every department is trying to get as many people on board on the bikes, onto traffic as we can. And it's just something that we're going to have to work every day at and keep getting as many people to do this job. And we're not going to stop being out there enforcing, educating the public as much as we can until we get these numbers to 0.
Right.
Yeah.
And at heart, all of us, no matter what our rank is, if you're the newest officer on the department, or the chief of police, or the top trooper, or the head, the sheriff, we all started our career as police officers, so we all have that innate training in us, and it just sometimes needs to be coaxed out of us a little bit because we start doing paperwork and desk work and things like that. But we're all cops at heart, and we all want to be out in our community doing the best that we can do to provide a safe community for everybody.
Yeah, and it's cool, like to see all you here, and I know that you're all like you believe in the same philosophy, and so it's a really wonderful thing.
Great.
You know what I'm saying? And so the other thing I was going to say is we love Joanna May. We got Joanna to come here when we do the Nevada Donor Network. And for the first time, we had Trooper Wellman here and Christina from the Nevada Donor Network and Joanna here. And Joanna was able to talk a little bit about what she was feeling, and she sort of emotionally broke down a little bit, but at the end, she really felt good. And so, it's really fantastic. And so it's a matter of her being able to still feel. And so, it's really wonderful. And so I'm glad that you had an opportunity to meet her. And so thanks for doing this too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we can't thank all the participating
it's
agencies
fantastic,
enough. But we had 5 agencies participate, majority of them being down south, because that's where Micah was stationed. So more people have an impact. But as his story spread, as this event spread and people saw what we did, especially thanks to social media as well, it doubled in size this year, which is fantastic. And we can't wait to triple it. So next year will be even bigger and better.
It shows that the North and the South can work together and come together for something special like this.
Absolutely. Oh, there you go. Right there.
Nice.
There we go.
So that's every participating agency. And then, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10. I'm pretty sure we had 13 because we found out that there was other agencies that wanted to participate. We just lost communication, but they contacted Office of Traffic Safety joining forces, and they were communicating with them. So through all the telephone games, we found out that there was 13 total. So.
Nice.
13 total.
Yep.
And we wish that he was here.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like let's just say that we wish that we didn't have to celebrate this type of day, and we have to remember that when you put on that badge, that you are, risking your life. And so we have to always maintain the fact, and one of the things that we always talk about on the Trooper Talk is to never put someone in a position where they have to make that choice.
Right.
And so if someone is in trouble or something like this, you can talk to an officer, stop the car. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to celebrate things like this, but we're thankful that everyone came through in tremendous fashion. You know what I mean?
Well, and like we say, a $35, ride share is a lot cheaper than about $10,000 worth of legal bills that you're going to face if you get, pulled over for DUI, plus the embarrassment, possible loss of job, friends, things like that. So don't ever hesitate.
That or a lifetime of trauma after.
Yep, absolutely.
Whether you intended to do it or not, and then we can argue back and forth about what your intent is when you know that you're under the influence and you get behind the wheel. If you kill somebody, that's whether you go to prison or not, you're going to live with that moment in your life for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You're never going to forget that.
Nope.
And we've talked about, I think, where the person was a good person, never had a problem at all, all of a sudden went out with the friends, got a little bit of tipsy, drove home, killed somebody, and the life is over.
Made a bad choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so,
All about choice.
what you're saying is so relevant. You know what I'm saying? And so it's and you in your somber tone, it's like it's very deafening.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like but it's because you know that you're speaking from the heart, and it's just very passionate. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, if you go out and you want to have fun, we get it. You deserve to have that night out after a long week at work or celebrating something. But there's just so many options.
Yeah.
We're taking a taxi cab, a ride share, the bus, a family, a friend, walking. I mean, it's just you have so many options now that getting behind the wheel is selfish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe at one point when this stuff didn't exist, we could say that maybe it was not as
Prevalent.
or that the choices weren't there, but
Sure.
they are here now.
Yeah, sure.
And
And-
everyone's educated as to it when they get their driver's license. Everyone knows the consequences. Either, you're going to mess up your life, definitely could mess up someone else's life, but everyone knows. So there's no question that, well, I didn't know this could happen to me. And, and we've all seen the videos too of the people begging and pleading with the officers that are putting them in the back of the police car. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I can't believe you're ruining my life. It's like, no, they're not doing it. You did it to yourself. So you're going to have to take responsibility. But why not take responsibility before you get in the car, before you get the handcuffs on, before you get that booking photo down at CCDC? Take the time, take responsibility for your own actions. Don't do it. And, and if you do, know that there are going to be dire consequences.
And there you're going to end up in somebody's car, like Trooper Wellman's car, with the beautiful bracelets. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We have to take a break here. It's 9:40.
Yep.
Or you
Yep.
guys have to leave.
Yep. Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
So, Trooper Wellman, we're going to be exiting our two special guests for the
Yep.
moment.
Goodbye, John.
Back to
gentlemen,
Trooper Talk.
thank you so much. You know what I mean? I appreciate you guys, coming in and spending time, and you know what I mean, and all that stuff. So,
Do we get a mug?
yes, I have the mug for you, and so just make sure that you we'll take a picture right here, and just make sure you wave because we're having two guests exit
Yep.
right now, and Johnny will put that in there.
Thanks for letting me jump on. I wasn't a planned guest, but always appreciate
Right,
it. So
we
thank you, Neil.
appreciate
Yeah, and we just want to add that, if anybody has a traffic complaint for us, they can reach us at traffic@nv.ccsd.net or hit us up on our Facebook page, Clark County School District Police Department. Follow us where we post our doe of the day, which is just somebody that makes a silly choice, like we say, choices. Passing school buses, speeding, U-turns, double parking, anything that's prohibiting the flow of traffic and putting kids' safety at risk. We're going to post them on Facebook, and we're going to show people what not to do.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Just keep up the good work, gentlemen.
Oh, and just one more
Yeah,
thing.
tell
Everybody
us.
remember that all of the charter schools in Clark County start tomorrow. So if you thought traffic was congested and a little crazy now, we have a whole other group, a whole other segment of our kids coming back to school tomorrow. A lot of our charter schools and private schools are actually starting tomorrow. So again, like we always say, plan ahead, plan ahead, slow down,
Yeah.
pay attention.
Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Neil.
thanks for
All right,
having
thanks.
us.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ashley.
guys.
Thanks for having us.
So, Trooper Wellman, one of the things that someone wrote in, I want to get to this picture too, is they asked where to write in or call if they want the traffic area people to, if they notice a lot of speeding. We've been getting a few emails about that. So can you tell us if someone was to have a problem area, right, the problem-solving unit, how do we initiate that?
Yeah, so you can contact our office at 702-486-4100. Or you can go on NevadaStatePolice.com, and we have links there, as well as on our social media handles. We'll get you direct connection. But basically, all your emails or concerns will be routed to me, and then I will distribute them to the designated area, whether it be a commercial vehicle issue or if it is a traffic issue, I'll send it to our motor sergeant, which is our PSU unit, problem-solving unit, and then you'll see them visible in those areas.
Because I notice a lot more troopers out there now in the mornings. Like, it's filtering out now, like the hiring thing, the hiring process, the pay raise, all these things, people are getting excited. And I see a lot more troopers out in the morning than I did before.
Good, I'm glad.
And so they're really showing a presence. So,
Good.
that was one of the questions. What do we have here?
So in honor of fallen trooper Micah May, his annual event we do in his memory is May You Choose Not to Drive Impaired. This year it consisted over 13 agencies statewide that conducted over 400 traffic stops and resulted in 26 impaired drivers getting taken off the roadways. And what we did was we took a combined photo of the South and a combined photo of the agencies up north. And we just wanted to showcase and again just thank every agency for participating. The only agency that's really missing in the South is Metro in this one. And then up here we have Reno, Sparks, Washoe County, you name it, Highway Patrol. It's just really cool that even though we're miles apart, we're still all serving the same purpose, and that was to save lives that night in honor of our fallen brother.
Yeah, we got to get these people off the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so luckily I don't drive at night, but, I can only imagine.
But firsthand that it doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Yeah.
People are going to make the wrong choice and drive impaired, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And we were out in numbers that night and that day to preserve life. So
That's fantastic. It just shows how much can be accomplished in one day.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you work together as a team too.
Holy smokes. All right. National Asian Peace Officers Association Career Fair. We know that every time that there's a career fair, you are out there in numbers, trying to tell people that, the Nevada State Police has all these different agencies, not agencies, all these different divisions, right? And so it's very important.
Yeah, so this was just us promoting one of the career fairs that we were going to be attending. It's past now, but it's just cool to also show our diversity within our agency and highlight a culture. And we're out at multiple different types of events, whether that just be community outreach, a specific nationality events. We do a lot of career fairs at colleges. That's where people are in that transition of what should I do now? Once I finish school, we go to a lot of military. We're out there. So if you have any questions, though, don't ever hesitate to contact us. You can go on NevadaStatePolice.com, and you can talk to a recruiter directly from that website. We have the email to contact them with any questions is careers@dps.state.nv.us, but that's kind of long and hard to remember. So if you aren't looking at it, just remember NevadaStatePolice.com. And Officer McClarty down here in the South and the recruiter up north are more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Yeah, we love Officer McClarty. He was here the other day. So somber, not somber, so, straight face, but yet that he's serious and that he's there for you.
Yeah.
And that it's really wonderful. And I love the fact that, he shows the transition from the military because there's a lot of people that come from that type of structure, like you say, that now can easily find structure with Nevada State Police, right?
Yeah, Officer McClarty was a Marine prior to this career, and so this was a great transition and very easy to transition over because it's very similar lifestyles. And so that's why he speaks about that constantly, and he's a great person for that role because he connects to a lot of our soldiers and our people in our military. Also, if you notice, Officer McClarty has a little spunk and like a new little light.
Yeah.
Because we've got the 23% pay raise, and we've got now pay raises for specialty units.
Yes.
We've got pay incentives for education,
Yeah.
pay incentives for being bilingual. We've got multiple different pay incentives that are all listed on our website, as well as you can talk to Officer McClarty. You know, we still have our take-home cars. I mean, it's just amazing. And then next year, we're getting an additional 11%. So that'll put us at 34% within the next 2 years. So now is the time to jump. And if you've ever had that interest in joining our agency or even just in law enforcement, we have parole and probation, we have highway patrol, we have Capitol Police where you work at our government buildings, we have governor's detail where you work alongside the governor's detail, we have K9, I mean, it goes on and on and on. We have multiple different divisions, and I guarantee you that we have something that you would be interested in. And if you're not thinking sworn route and you want to just be a part of our family, you know, we have civilian spots as well, and we have dispatch, and we have, you know, just admin stuff at our office. So the possibility, I mean, the like options are there. It's just a matter of you taking that jump and trying it out. And we also offer ride-alongs for anyone that's interested and want to kind of see what it's like to walk in our shoes for every division, as well as you can do a sit-along with our dispatchers and see if this is something that you can do, you know, because it does take a special person to play all those roles, but maybe it's you. So NevadaStatePolice.com.
Yeah, and you get a raise too, Trooper Woman.
I
Not only from the 23%, but the PIO is a special assignment.
I got an extra
and let's
5%.
face it, you get woken up in the middle of the night and have to go to horrific scenes. So it's not like, oh, you know, you get to talk to the media. No. You have to jump up, get to a scene, and then go, oh, let me talk in front of all the media now about this horrific thing that I just saw. You know, so it's not easy, but it
Right.
takes that special person that has the dedication, and so it's, you know, it's obviously well deserved, but it's
Thank you.
it's another cool thing that someone can do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
but you're not going anywhere, Trooper Woman.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe they can come sit next to you or something like that. All right, best looking cruiser. We talked about this.
Yeah. This was crazy, Neil. I don't even understand what happened.
So we came up with this great link,
Yes.
VoteNSP,
.com.
right, .com. And I told you that for the business that we do when we do the Best of Las Vegas, which is coming up very soon, I think. I think we have to vote in like 3 weeks or something. It starts like September 1st or something. Anyway, it's we do VoteNCM.com. Anyway, and so it's very important because it makes it very simple. And I said, listen, people are going to find it, and it's going to be so simple.
Yeah.
So anyway, third place.
I'll tell you what. So this is a competition that happens every year. Sometimes we get super involved in it, and then sometimes we don't. It just depends. But last year we didn't even make it's every, well, I mean, whoever wants to participate, but it's every state nationally, and it's all the highway patrols, and we compete for who has the best looking cruiser. And last year we didn't even make the calendar. We didn't even make top 12. So this year, again, it kind of got slipped, and we found out about 2 days before submissions we had to submit our photos. So real quick, my partner up north, Kim, she ran down to Lake Tahoe and took this gorgeous photo of our new silver fleet, because we're changing all of our cars from blue to silver because we are the silver state. Took this great photo. We usually focus on Vegas, but we thought it'd be really great to highlight Tahoe and the mountain and just the lake, and it's gorgeous. So anyway, I don't know, I had a conversation with you. Next thing I know, next morning we had 80,000 votes. So you must know a lot of people, or a lot of people watch Trooper Talk. But we are so grateful. That was so much fun. We were bantering with the other agencies that were going from first to second. We actually held first for like almost a whole weekend. And Florida State Highway Patrol were freaking out. They had an alligator in front of their cruiser, so they thought they had this in the bag. I'm pretty sure they posted a video promoting it every day. Like they were 100% in this, and so the fact that we were beating them was just, it was very comical, and it was just such a great banter, and we even were like talking on text message to multiple agencies that we've never come in contact with, but we were all connecting through this competition, and it was really cool to be a part of. And overall, Florida Highway Patrol, they won first, then it went California, and then it went us. And so to go from not even being on the calendar last year to now third place, this is amazing. And so we've already started talking with multiple people here in town. Like, you know, we've got the Stanley Cup, we've got UFC, we've got all the sports teams in town. Like, imagine what we could do, right, to promote it. So next year we will be definitely more prepared, and we'll blow it up. So thank you for everyone that voted. This was really cool for us, and we didn't realize, I guess, we realized how big of a competition it was, but we didn't fully realize until this year. So we're ready for next year. So
it's great. And
gotta take it.
And everybody on Trooper Talk, you know, we keep telling everybody, you know, to go and vote and go and vote
yes,
and go and
thank
vote.
you.
And so it's fantastic. And so it's like, it's really great.
And if you go on our social media, I did post a link. Those calendars are for purchase. It's a whole nonprofit for state troopers, I think it is. But yeah, there's a link on there that you can purchase a calendar if you want one.
Yeah. All right, Trooper Wellman, we have to end things. So we appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
You know, it's really wonderful. And, you know, the thing is that we can't forget that it's the start of the new year for all the kids, and that people just have to go and just slow down and take your time and leave yourself a little bit of extra room and stuff like that. Right?
Absolutely. Everybody's going to be rushing in the morning, dropping their kids off, trying to get to work. But you have to remember about safety. If you leave with plenty of time, you won't be rushing, and you'll prevent any crashes from happening. Any, you know, if you're speeding, like we heard from Clark County School District, they're out there. So you don't want to get that ticket that's going to delay you longer and probably ruin your day, and that's the start of your day. Like, it's a whole ripple effect. Just take a breath, get up early, make sure you have your stuff planned, and just have a good day.
Have a good day. Trooper Wellman, thank you so much, okay?
Hey, thanks for having me.
We'll see you later.